Netflix's All of Us Are Dead is amazing. Alright, let's rewind. So, as a long-term K-drama enthusiast, I have always been skeptical of Netflix original K-dramas. And why wouldn't I be? Given their track record of generic English movies and shows, I had no reason to believe that Netflix would make a good K-drama. But then, there was a lot of internet hype surrounding a new K-drama on Netflix called Squid Game. So I decided to check it out. And to my present surprise, it was actually quite good. That led me down a rabbit hole of multiple Netflix K-dramas. So far, to mixed results. Some have actually been quite good, like and
너 그러다 죽어.
Talented, brilliant, incredible, amazing, show-stopping.
Spectacular.
while some have been so painfully bad, they could make John Wick sticking a pencil through your eyeballs feel like a little boo-boo on your finger in comparison.
No.
Oh my god. Anyway, recently I came across a trailer for a new Netflix K-drama that was going to be about zombies. There was already a lot of hype surrounding this K-drama, and rightly so, given Korea's great track record with the zombie genre, like with Train to Busan or with Netflix's very own Kingdom. And yeah, I was intrigued and decided I was going to give it a shot. And oh my god, is it amazing! The very first thing I like about this K-drama is the fact that it is set in Yosan and not Seoul, which automatically gives it a very different vibe to most K-dramas which are set in the capital. And to that sentiment, the show looks amazing. The prosthetics used for the zombie are really on point, and the graphical effects are top notch. The show looks scary when it's meant to look scary, it looks gory when it wants to look gory, and that is just beautiful to watch. I know it's weird talking about a blood-filled scary movie as beautiful, but man, is it beautiful to watch. But all this pale in comparison to what I think is the best part of this K-drama, which is the writing. The writing on this K-drama, in my opinion, is first class. You are able to feel every single emotion the writer wants you to feel. For example, the portrayal of bullying in this K-drama is brutal, intense, and heart-wrenching, and many times it had me questioning myself. Part of me wanted to believe that this could not be real or this was exaggeration on the part of the writers, but it is written and executed so well that at the back of my mind I couldn't help but feel like there are actually people out there going through this, and that for me was traumatizing just to watch. And that is the power of brilliant writing, of course with brilliant execution by the actors who are on fire. There's also the fact that every character is fully fleshed out. Well, most of them, particularly in the main group. And every character is made to feel human, with their own motives, their own personalities, and their own traumas. Many of the characters subvert common movie stereotypes, even though they are slightly based on them. We have everything from the hero types like Chongsan and Suyok, to the big fat guy like Dae Su, to the sports rich girl who is Yeon, to the athlete guy who is willing to do anything to survive in Gyeong. Many of these characters are fleshed out and given their own stories, allowing them to feel human and not just like characters written on a page. And the writing was so good that they changed my perspective on some of the stereotypical characters in zombie movies. For example, Dae Su.
올리브유에 튀긴 닭이 더 맛있어. 콩고기보다 돼지고기가 맛있어. 그냥 딸기보다 딸기 케이크 맛있어. 날 웃게 하는 건 트랜스 지방.
Dae Su is the big overweight character who amassed a fortune in mass like a Catholic priest, while his body forgot that speed and agility are actually characteristics the human body can possess. Usually, when you see a character like him in a horror movie, what do you think? He is likely the comic relief and would almost certainly die, but not in this series, because Dae Su is not just a meatball who can't run. Many times, he uses his strength to hold off the zombies, allowing his teammates to escape. He basically saves their lives on multiple occasions throughout the series, and turns out he's actually a very talented singer with dreams of becoming a K-pop idol. And this is what I mean, even a character like Dae Su, who you would think is primed for a zombie feast and would likely just slow the group down, turns out to be instrumental in the survival of the entire group. But while I have a lot of good things to say about the writing and this series in general, there are still a few dodgy moments throughout the series.
Spoilers! Come on!
For example, there's this moment where the group are in the broadcast room and are trying to check the internet to find out what's going on outside the school premises. While they are in the middle of this, they are attacked by a zombie, and one of the characters has to take the PC and smash the zombie out the window. And his classmates end up complaining about the fact that they can no longer access the internet. Except in that same very scene, the characters go into the studio in the broadcast room, and right there on the desk is another computer. There's also the question of how the group who were in the sports center didn't hear or notice anything when the main group decided to use the speakers in the school to distract and draw away the zombies, or how the principal didn't turn into a zombie when he was killed with a knife that basically had zombie blood all over it. But these are tiny details that actually don't have much impact on the overall story or direction of the movie. However, there is one flaw that trumps the others and has me puzzled till this moment, and that flaw is Namra. Namra is portrayed as a student with a quiet, reserved persona who became the class president because her mom donated a bunch of money to the school. Because of this, she is disliked by her classmates who did not accept her as their president and take her reserved nature to be her looking down upon them. But my problem is not with Namra's portrayal or her character, but rather with the fact that she seems to make questionable decisions at vital points in the story. A good example of this is what happens between Yeon and Gyeong Su. For those who haven't watched the story or need a refresher, the TLDR is Yeon dislikes and looks down upon Gyeong Su because he is a welfare child. Obviously, Gyeong Su doesn't take very kindly to this. Everybody likes Gyeong Su. Everybody doesn't like Yeon because she's a bitch. Remember the broadcasting room zombie incident I told you earlier? Well, during that incident, Gyeong Su gets a cut on his hand. Yeon claims the cut is a result of a zombie bite and Gyeong Su should be killed immediately. Gyeong Su correctly denies this, but Yeon refuses to drop the case. And so Gyeong Su decides to go quarantine in the studio room just to prove Yeon wrong. The quarantine only needed to last 10 minutes since it takes about 5 minutes to turn into a zombie. But Gyeong Su, being stubborn and annoyed, decides to spend an hour in quarantine instead. Everybody sides with Gyeong Su, which makes Yeon even more angry and hateful. Yeon is sent in to apologize to Gyeong Su. She picks her hanky, wipes some zombie blood from a stick, and then, under the pretense of apology, she applies the hanky with the zombie blood onto Gyeong Su's wound, thereby infecting him in the process. As a form of revenge, and just to prove that she was right and Gyeong Su was wrong. You see, Namra notices Yeon use a hanky to wipe the zombie blood, and she then watches as Yeon takes the same hanky and wipes the womb of Gyeong Su, thereby infecting him with the disease. And she says nothing. She says basically nothing until Gyeong Su turns into a zombie and then has to be thrown out the window. Only then does she then come out and accuse Yeon of infecting Gyeong Su with the zombie disease. Why didn't you say anything while it was happening? That is sus as hell. That is sus. No, is it just me? Is it just me that wonder why she didn't say anything? I mean, while watching the show, I noticed the way she stood up to go see what was happening between Yeon and Gyeong Su while they were in the studio. And something told me she had noticed what was going on. And I was right. And I was like, why didn't she say anything? I don't get that. That is sus. Another issue I have with her is her being a halfbie, or a half zombie basically, which I think is a stupid nickname by the way, halfbie. Who came up with that?
Are you serious?
In the show, the zombie virus mutates and creates a few half zombies, one of them being Gyeong, and Gyeong goes ahead to bite Namra, who then becomes a half zombie herself, a sort of second generation half zombie if you will. The thing is though, her powers are never fully explored by the group. They realize she's a half zombie, half human, just like Gyeong is. And they see Gyeong do weird things, like being able to walk through a group of zombies undetected or without getting bitten, or being able to easily kill zombies basically with his hands. Logic would state that given Namra is a half zombie, like Gyeong, she must possess similar characteristics or similar powers basically. But for some reason, the group never thinks to explore Namra's powers. I mean, on many occasions, it would have been very useful to have someone who could just walk into a group of zombies and just kill them without getting beaten or attacked. For example, when they were stuck inside the storage closet of a sports center. That would have been the perfect time for Namra to go out and kill all the zombies and allow the group to escape unscathed. That would have saved their classmates from getting beaten and turning into another zombie. But I guess I kind of get it. The group were probably more scared about her turning on them and about how she could help them. To them, it was probably more a curse than a blessing in the situation. Besides, they never really discussed her powers, and you would not want to send your friend out into a pack of zombies where you're not sure if she could actually survive it. So that could be an excuse. But this excuse goes straight out the window when it comes to Gyeong. Now, you see, Gyeong, like I said, it was one of the original half zombies, right? And he has a beef with Chung-san for most of the movie. And so he attacks Chung-san on multiple occasions. And one of these occasions occurs when the group are on the roof of the school building. Everybody tries to protect Chung-san to no avail, and it looks like all hope is lost. That is until Namra goes all Super Saiyan, beats up Guinam and throws him off the roof. So it's established at this point that Namra is the only one who has power to match Guinam. But yet, when the group is attacked again by Guinam while on the ledges of the construction site, Namra just sits there and does nothing as Guinam takes a hold of Chung-san and bites him. Why? It has already been established that you are the only one who has the power to beat up Guinam, and yes, you just sit there and watch as he takes a bite of your friend in front of you. Oh my god. I don't get it. Why didn't she do anything? Why? And then the drones with the sound come in, which affects Guinam and Namra together. But for some reason, at some point, the sounds just stop affecting Namra and she's all of a sudden fine. And that is never explained. But okay, that's minor. I just don't understand how she let Guinam get to Chung-san without a fight. Now, Chung-san admittedly has probably the biggest plot armor of any character. Like seriously, this guy was dodging zombies, deflecting zombies. He probably escaped zombification at least 50 times throughout the entire series. But in my opinion, Chung-san should not have died that way. Namra could have saved him. Yeah, he died in a really cool way, you know, taking Guinam with him and all, but she should have saved him. One last thing I did find weird is how the colonel or the marshal, whoever he was, major, I don't know, decided to shoot himself in the head after bombing the city. I do not get why he did that. I understand his remorse or his guilt that I felt, but these guys were zombies. They were technically already dead people. He understood this. I do not understand. Why is he feeling guilty for putting the souls and the bodies of dead people to rest? Like, I get it, but at the same time, I don't get it, if you know what I mean.
Word, you know what I mean? You know that reading shit. You know what I mean? It's hard, son. Word, you know what I mean? Word, you know what I mean? Especially when them books be, you know what I mean?
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Anyway, apart from this, I would say the show is great. The show is great apart from those little things. Those things didn't ruin the enjoyment of the show for me. They weren't big enough to mess up the show, in my opinion. And overall, I really enjoyed it. One last thing I'd like to give the show writers credit for is how every single character, whether the main characters or the supporting cast, lost something. Every single character lost something to this zombie, I don't know what I call it, pandemic, epidemic, I don't know, whatever it's called. The funny thing is, I realized this during the scene where the characters were running through the streets trying to make it to the quarantine camp. And as I was thinking about this, I realized everybody had lost something except the siblings. And as I thought, oh, the siblings haven't lost anything, snap, it's like the characters were listening to me and one of the siblings died. Amazing. I mean, this show is just emotional. This show is just everything. It has everything. It has the fighting amongst the characters. It has very good action scenes. Every single episode feels high stakes. The comic relief is done very well and it never takes away from the tension you are feeling. Every episode, there is something to lose. There is someone to lose. There is a mystery to solve. There is something that needs to be accomplished. And no episode feels wasted. No episode feels like it drags on for too long. This is a great show. You could feel for the characters. I mean, this show made me tear up, okay? Do you know what I did this to make me tear up? This show made me tear up. I could feel for these characters. Losing family, losing their friends. Man, And obviously the ending sets up a possible season 2, which I don't think it needs, but if it gets okay, I guess, but I don't think it needs. I'm used to K-dramas not having second seasons, so them get second seasons is like, why? I don't know. But yeah, overall this was a great show. I recommend it 10 out of 10. Okay, that's not an official rating, right? But I 100% recommend this show. You should watch it. Particularly if you love zombie movies, if you just love good series, good movies, good stories, you should watch this show. It's really well executed, really well done. And you know what? Yeah, thumbs up from me. Let me know what you thought of this series. Have you watched it? If you have, what do you think of it? Who are your favorite characters, by the way? And which character did you hate most? I know a lot of you probably hated Yeon the most. What do you think the best part of the movie was? What made you love it the most? And what did you not like about the series as well? Let me know all down in the comments. Like and maybe subscribe. I'll probably make more videos in the future. I might do character dives on the likes of Yeon. Particularly Yeon, I find quite interesting as a character. I might do a character dive on her, and also the bullying aspects and how it made me feel and all that. But yeah, I hope you really enjoyed this video as well. Let me know your thoughts on the video as well. If you have any critics or whatnot, you can critique me, who is also the critic. That would be interesting. Till next time, take care. Peace.